Hi everyone, this is Daisy here. Um, and I wanted to do a channeling on trauma bonding. So, what is trauma bonding? Trauma bonding is when two individuals confuse intimacy and love in a relationship for what really is a connection rooted in a shared trauma and then trauma that they created with one another onto each other or onto someone else. Just in the same, and I want to talk about this because I feel like a lot of people are in relationships that they feel like, oh, this is love. No, and it's really trauma. They're bonded to that person because of trauma, not codependency, but because of the shared, experiences that they've had, as well as the trauma that they create with each other, like Bonnie and Clyde got reversed, if that makes some sense. With this Venus retrograde that just happened, I feel like a lot of people are reflecting on their relationships, on the dynamics that they've had in relationships throughout their life. I see people doing like a deep assessment and review, Seven of Pentacles, in regards to their love relationships. Um, and some people are in the hermit energy because they are realizing that they can't really fully say that they've had like a healthy relationship, or they are realizing that they've been the one to cause the relationship to go, sideways, sour. Or they're realizing that they understand now why they attract a specific type of person in relationships. A lot's coming up. So for some of you, you're like, why is my masculine still with the karmic or my feminine still with their karmic? Because they're bonded to each other because of trauma. It's not real love. It's not, I'm sorry to hear that mistake. It's not real love. It's not a relationship rooted in values of, you know, unity, stability, integrity, you know, being productive. What is your contribution to society? The relationship is rooted in who can make the other feel worse and make the other, apologize first. Like it's power games, control games. Who can create like a story to wrap themselves into so that if either one tries to leave, they can continue to use that story or that fantasy to keep the situation going. So a relationship where there's like a lot of fighting and arguments. It's like that what's that song? Bryson Tiller. We fight, make up, then fuck, girl. That's the sequence. That type of cycle, what it does is it dysregulates the nervous system because the ups and downs, the high that you get when you're like in love and you're releasing phenylalanine. It's a specific type of chemical in the body that produces like a feeling of sensation of like love and romance. It's also in chocolate. Interesting. You're producing all those hormones. You're on a high, serotonin, dopamine. That rush is going. You're euphoric with all three of those, you know, because love is like the most powerful drug. It really is. And then you crash down with the karmic behaviors that start to kick in and whatnot. And now you're releasing cortisol, the stress hormone. You're in the Nine of Swords. You're in the Ten of Swords. You're in the Five of Cups. Then the person comes back again and it's Six of Cups. It's, oh, reminiscing. And then you go back to the cycle of the high, the euphoria, and then you drop back down. That dysregulates your nervous system. Thank you, Changing Chapters. I so appreciate that. That process and that cycle breaks down, like I said, the nervous system, but it also weakens the mind's emotional processing system, which is the amygdala. So then you start to lose your sense of self and sense of right and wrong and what's proper and what's not proper in everyday situations, not just your love relationship. It translates into all other areas. Then, what continues to happen as you continue on with this person, it's harder to let them go because you feel so attached to them because of the chemical conditioning. Not because the love is real, it's the chemical conditioning. And then we didn't even talk about the sex. Then you add that in, right? Then you add the adrenaline and then the trauma that gets activated when you guys are fighting and arguing and they're calling you out of your name and bringing up your past and your childhood and all that other stuff and all that craziness. It's a cocktail of chaos. And then when one person steps away to detox and try to get their stuff together, they feel like they can't walk away from the person. The love is too great. No, you're attached and you're trauma bonded. Your energy field and your nervous system is literally bonded to that other person and their biorhythms and their energy fields and auric fields. And as the cycle of get together, we're in love, and then we fall again, and as that starts to become like old and mundane, and someone really is like, okay, I'm tired of this, I'm done. Then you see love spells, and oh, I'm gonna have a baby or whatever. So you have to understand that that's what's currently going on when your partners, your twin or your divine partners over there, your soulmate is with the karmic. They are literally rewriting their genetic code, their DNA. They're literally transforming their entire molecular structure to be in alignment with that individual. That's what happens. So in many ways, they become twins. And this is why I also put shape shifting in the comment section. Sorry, in the title, because when they deal with the individuals, because a lot of the times it's like a narcissist and an empath. Sometimes it's two narcissists, but one is an even bigger one and more diabolical. The one that's more diabolical is the shape shifter. And they shape and they contort and they bend and fold into different forms in order to keep that cycle going because they feed off of the electrical charge from the trauma and from the high. It's all food, it's all a feeding source. And in their mind, that's just how relationships are supposed to go. Exactly, supply. They don't see it as such. Because the narcissists, they don't see people as their own individual people. They see people as extensions of themselves. Like, this other person doesn't have their own life to live and be their own self. They're an extension of me and what I want. They're just a blank canvas for me to paint my life on. That's how narcissists think. So that's why I talk about this because a lot of the times, y'all, we have to realize like there's few human beings on planet Earth. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Few human beings. Very few. Their true form is revealed when they no longer have use for you. When you completely shut it down, they can't get sex, they can't get money, they can't get attention. That's when they show their true colors. It's like with trauma bonding, like I said, the cycle puts you in biorhythmic alignment with the other individual because they're used to going through all of that. They're used to all that type of energy. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. High octane drama, chaos, tower. They live in that. They don't know peace. Peace is foreign to them. Peace is weird to them. There's something wrong with you. You see? Aries reverse type of energy. So the other person then feeds into it. And then their heart starts pumping, their blood starts pumping, the endorphins start going. I'm telling you, it's a whole chemical process. But there's an entity that the shapeshifter is connected to that is feeding off of that energy. So you see two people standing there and you think it's just two individuals fighting. No, it's a person, a feeding source. I mean, there's a shape shifting demon that's attached to the other human being, just working through them as a conduit. Because with narcissism, they have supernatural, like, it's a supernatural type of debilitation, if that makes some sense, because it's a power that they possess to destroy people, but it's also a debilitation because they lose their spirit in the process. So they become a conduit for like hyperdimensional entities and beings and archonic spirits and the whole pantheon of entities because they got different names and star systems and shit that they do. It's like gangs, gang turf territory. So y'all have to understand that, when you're dealing with your person, and then let's say they leave the karmic and they want to come back. No, oh no, 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 baby, you got to do your healing. Cause hell no, you're not about to bring that shit to me because you are right now a vibratory alignment with that karmic. So you need to do your work to change your frequency and change your molecular structure because all you're gonna do is bring me down with that. And this is the process for you of setting boundaries. And even in that, you keeping those boundaries strong and firm, that other person, if they really do honor you, they will do the work. If not, then you know that they have, completely descended to the place that that other person is at and they should stay there. Just called 911. Damn. So at this time, it's really important who we like share ourselves with, who we allow into our space, etc. It's also important for if you guys are, in a soul partnership, twin or whatnot, and this is what you're currently dealing with. I suggest you step back and take your energy out of it because another way that these individuals trauma bond is by creating, using someone as a scapegoat because it takes their energy and their focus away from fighting each other and hating themselves and onto hating you and fighting you and making you like the brunt of their jokes and talking about you, putting you down, all that type of stuff. They need that because unhappy people need that. They're dysregulated. They're not fully in themselves. So then you become now the conduit of energy to feed both of them. Then you take yourself away, you want no parts, and then all of a sudden here come the contact, the games being played, all this other stuff, because they need a feeding source. Another thing too is these, the trauma bonding. They create trauma with each other or for each other. Oh, I cheated on you. I thought you loved me. Oh, because I did it because you did this. It's your fault. And then it goes another cycle, and then oh, he stole from me or she did this to me. It's because of this. It's because of this problem that I have or that problem that I had or this what this person did to me. No accountability. Then they do shit together, stealing together, robbing together, sliding credit cards together, threesomes, doing drugs together, trauma bonding. Thank you, Astral. Trauma bonding. Hi, Brandy. Hi, it's good to see you. Trauma bonding is not blaming others. It's literally when two individuals are bonded on the molecular and energetic and psychological, emotional, and physical level due to the consistent reenactment of the narcissistic devaluation and exaltation love bombing cycle. It's also the bonding of two individuals into a toxic situation wherein which no one wins through the creation of traumatic acts with each other onto other people or the engagement in low vibrational activities with each other, partner in crime, Bonnie and Clyde type of shit. They can keep it. Yeah, they feed off of drama. That's all they want. Because I keep on saying there's very few humans left on planet Earth. I'm just gonna keep on saying that. You're gonna start to see it. You're seeing it now. Anyone who's not woken up after this stuff with this coronavirus and stuff like that, you'll start to see it. It's gonna be very clear once like they start letting us go out more and more and things like that. It's gonna be very clear. Okay, now I see. The shapeshifters are coming out. That's the time period that we are in. So I wanted to make sure I talked about that trauma bonding because it's really important. Um, and a lot of people get caught up in it. Another thing too is like, yeah, mind control techniques. Yep. Yep. People really have like whole books on like how to do it. Like, I'm so happy my Mercury is in Virgo because ooh, Virgos like think just earth signs in general, we're so hard-headed. It's like, okay, well, change my mind. The fuck? It's okay. I'm gonna leave it up so you can watch it. This one I'll leave up, but I'm gonna start doing these late night lives where I post or channel deep knowledge because a lot of people need to hear this. And you guys, everyone's at different stages, so I try to meet everyone where they're at. Some folks are just like getting out of the 2D and going back into the 3D to get to the 4D and 5D. Okay, we're gonna pull them out of hell, right? Because we're bodhisattvas. Some people are in the 3D and they're going into the 4D. Okay, we want to help them. Some people are from the 4D, 5D. They want to go higher, higher. Okay, let's go. So I used to be an educator, like a teacher. I had kids who were very advanced, and I'm like, you can come teach the class, and I had kids who were at a lower stage in their life, and they needed more help. So there's that. Shapeshifters. Shapeshifters, shapeshifters, shapeshifters. Scapegoat season, yeah. Smiling in your face. All the while they want to take your place. Yeah, you can get videos of them on the shit. Oh, wow. Man. Shapeshifters are individuals who, because they are loose in the mind. It's like the southern term, like that person's loose in the mind because they have no personality. The precursor to being a shapeshifter is having a personality disorder, and then it's narcissism, because personality disorder predates narcissism, right? That's the chain of command. Then you get to sociopathy, or the chain of the branch of the personality disorder shoots off both into narcissism and shoots both off into sociopathy, and if you're lucky, even psychopathy, right? Psychosis and shit like that. And then if you're really lucky, they create a chain link between all three, and then you become like a super entity, right? Wow. So these shapeshifters, they operate out of that energy. A lot of the times when I could look into a shapeshifter's chart and see there's a lot of air and a lot of water in critical places. Um they have no long-term plan. They themselves don't even understand their motives and intentions until it's flipped back onto them. They just know that they have one motive, and that is to get others to bend to their will by any means necessary. It's like, on Super Mario when you're like going through like the little villages, and like you stomp on like a square or something to get the coin out. That's literally shapeshifters. That's how they view life. Um, they are definitely attached to entities. Because remember, in order for you to get into an entity, to catch an entity, you have to put yourself into their frequency match for certain ones. Some of them, like, I'm not even. So anyhow, yeah, shapeshifters, entities. That's how it goes down. Succubus and incubus, basically, the players are getting played by the divine. It's Revenge of the Nerds. It's it's like those movies where like the underdog like wins. It's over. Because people have to know that there's a God. That's why all this shit is going on. It's like people have to know that there's a most high, and that there's also like real nefarious forces at play. People really think it's a fairy playing a fairy tale. Oh, we'll just vote and it'll be okay. Let's see what happens when martial law kicks in. Nunu, send me their picture on Instagram. Ooh. Huh? Yep. Yeah, they already lost their souls. They're evil incarnate. Yeah, exactly. There's few humans left on this planet. A lot of people lost their souls. There's this website. What is this called? And I subscribe to this lady. And the way she talks about it is so like s- scientific. The third wave is going to cause major soul death during the ascension of the oneness. It's like that's how they talk. I feel like it's like some other type of language that they're. I think it's like trying to translate light language into English, but I stay away from those type of things too, because some of those uh archangels and different things like that are inorganic, hyperdimensional beings. Okay, so anyhow, I just stick with what I know, which is the indigenous. I'm an earth angel. Make it practical. So we have our languages too, but they are of a more, the language itself is a compilation of symbols. So it's like sounding a symbol. So it's like if the Ankh itself could be a sound, what would it be? That's how indigenous languages work. That's the secret. It's a secret. Don't tell nobody. I feel you, Astro, because like it's hard. It's hard. But like we lose more. Dolores Cannon. Is that her? I'm gonna check the email. But yeah, she was sending these things out like last year, like when we were having all these like 2 to 3 years ago when we were having like all these like major moon cycles, like back to back to back, like blood moons and things like that. Remember I told you that those transits can last up to 24 months, you know? And then even for us, if we do our rituals and our meditations, it gets stored in our DNA. And then we have another moon or something like that happen, and then it activates on top of that. It's like, ooh, we've been like quantum leaping here. But with these different transits that have been happening too, it's like a lot of people cannot stand the energy that's coming down. Neptune is in Pisces right now in its home planet. Yeah. Then you got Saturn in Aquarius too. That air, that water. Yeah. Major exposure, major soul death, major battles over souls. Because remember, there's entities and demons like they don't give a fuck if you're dark. They're hungry. They want chicken wings. Oh, she lost both parents. That's hard. So, hmm. Yeah, I've been channeling some shit lately, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Let me just do one thing at a time. Yes, we definitely are. You're like, right. Um, I'm gonna find the email and then I'm gonna put it in. The comment section for this and like terms of what her website is and stuff. She talks about it in a very, it's like very like, it's kind of like with tarot, like you know when you're like, oh my goodness, the tower, like stuff like that. You got to learn like the language that they're speaking. They have like a whole different type of thing. Yeah, it's possible to get spiritually intact in dreams. Hell yeah, that's why you gotta open up your third eye more and like learn how to, because then that strengthens your ability to have control in the dream state. Thank you, so. I appreciate you. I love me some hot wings, man. Um, of course you're gonna be affected by Saturn. I'm having my Saturn return too. Yeah, you're gonna be Hi Robert, thank you. And I honestly, she is not a factor to me. Um, she tried to do like an energy harvesting. She's one of the shapeshifters. They're very prominent in the spiritual spaces. I'm telling you, because that's where the most like energy that they can get. Like they feeding sources. There's low vibrational ones. Of course, there's the low vibrational ones that just want to feed off the lower vibrational spirits, but they have to do it more often because the food isn't. It's like, okay, ooh, I can go to Wingstop or I can go to Safeway and like get those wings, that type of thing. The quality. Energy harvesting is very real. They are not from Earth. They remember I told you that they took me to the place where demons incarnate into the planet Earth. They have a physical body, a vessel, it's a suit. But imagine it's like a computer with a different types of hard drive system. Like I don't know if you know this, but there's something that you can do to your MacBook where you can also get Windows, like a whole Windows operating system. It's kind of like that. Like they switch different operating systems. It's like that what was that Netflix show Carbon something? That was actually good. You saw her putting a spell on you in your dream, banish her, break that shit. Yes, please, Sherry. It's good info. After Alter Carbon. Oh my God. Y'all need to watch that stuff. And I'm gonna keep it hella real. What they do with the media is they're manifesting and telling us ahead of time what they want because through segment augmentation, we manifest that world. Like Handmaid's Tale. That's about to happen. Ooh. I was gonna post a picture of Gilead and put the Three of Wands. I don't think people are ready. Um Trauma bonding, yeah, shapeshifter, yeah. I'm gonna tell you a story about a shapeshifter karmic that I used to deal with. He was Dominican and a Gemini. Child, lethal. Lethal. Um, and Black Mirror, yeah. All those shows, they be telling you what they're about to do. So, karmic, Gemini karmic. We loved each other, but it just was not gonna work out. Um, one time we got into an argument because he was playing with my emotions, and Gemini's and Cancers, that's one of the reasons why we don't get along. And I'm a Leo too, and I don't play with that. Like, I guess we trauma bonded. So, anyways, I was at his house because his roommate invited me to play like Cards Against Humanity, and I was being messy. So I went over, and he came again. He had just come back home from Boston. He was from the East Coast. Oh my goodness! And after I just cussed his ass out, smooth out on Facebook, then he gives me a hug and goes, "We're playing Cards Against Humanity," and then I picked a certain card. He's like, "So that's the card you picked, Daisy?" So then he gives me a hug, and I felt like at that point, like I knew that their love was there. I knew it. Nothing in the world could have told me anything otherwise because his heart like made a link to my heart. I felt it. That's one of the things when I was around him, like I could feel like his heart, but he had a heart condition. It was strange. I don't know. I feel like my heart made his heart feel more complete. Anyhow, I went upstairs to go talk to him about the conversation that we had, and he was just looking at he was like being like hella mean and standoffish. Then he came outside and he was like, I don't have nothing to say. And I looked in his eyes, and he completely was a different person. And that's when I understood the concept of shape shifting. That's when I was like, okay, I see what this is. There's something inside of you, because inside of his eyes there weren't pupils. It was clouds in his eyes. I saw it. And this was before like I was like on some spiritual stuff. Like I knew about Lemuria, Atlantis, Luciferianism, all that stuff, hyperdimensional. But then that right there, I was like, okay, I see. And that's when I was like, okay, this person's a shapeshifter. And they had a whole bunch of narcissistic supply around them. But anyway, I tried to reinforce like the theory, concept and the channelings with like a real life experience to bring it down from the 5D to the 3D. That's the best way. Let's see. I'm Cancerian too. I'm a Cancer rising. Happy birthday, Nunu. Oh, happy birthday. Thank you, Astro. I appreciate you. My DM ambushed me and beat me up. What the fuck? With you, first of all, get a gun or shit, get a bat. My DM knows the distorted masculine that I dealt with knows it will be gang fucking over in these streets. He's afraid of me, and he's taller than me too. Yeah, some have died. He's died. Yeah, he soul death, and that's because he likes to deal with karmics, low vibrational people, popularity politics, and he lost his soul death. But these different transits too knocked it out too. A lot of people remember I talked about this in like the channeling that I made. Like when you don't heal at one stage and you try to get to the next one, you're at a deficit, so you're playing catch up. With all these different transits that have been going on since like 2012. As well as like 2016, 2018, the Aquarius and Leo eclipses. As we're moving into the age of Aquarius, there's a reason why those were happening in those two specific signs. Um, People have been continue just losing more and more. And then it doesn't help that these karmics are doing spells and shit like that too on top of the come on now. It's like you playing games and you tripping. Keep doing your bats. Do your meditations. Thank you. Yes. A lot of y'all too, like, um, I'm gonna just keep it real. Your soulmate, your masculine, your whatever, whatnot, is a narcissist, and you're the feeding source, and you got to get away. Like I said about that trauma bonding, they need a source to feed on. Um, of course it's gonna backfire. I'm gonna post the what is their karma. It's about that time of the month, so I'm gonna do that. What is their karma for each element? Yeah, can't go back. Yep. Once you've gone through certain portals and doors, once certain things have been done, it's like, nah, I can't even do that. It's like I would be completely disrespecting myself. But about that shapeshifter Gemini, though, one thing that I was gonna say was that's when I really realized like someone really can love and hate you all at the same exact time. And if that's possible, I don't want no parts. I can't have no parts. Oh, Candy, I'm sorry. Get your candles, clear your energy field, because that's really what it is. It's energy attacks. Clear your energy field, manifest. If someone's putting lose money as spells, put bring money spells. If someone's putting uh illness spells, put get healthy spells, on top of the clearing, reinforce. Right. And it's like after you've, that's another thing in terms of like the self esteem and the self development and stuff like that. Dang, I just feel like I knew all that work I put on myself was gonna pay off. I knew. I'm so happy because I'm about to be 30, and I'm like, I know I have work to do, of course, and I'm getting there because I can be in the Knight of Swords, Knight of Swords Tower energy, because Pluto is one of my most predominant planets after Mercury. Um, and I'm working on it. So let me just be the High Priestess and the Nine of Pentacles or Queen of Pentacles or Empress. Shit. What? What? But glad that I did the work and I went through those rites of passage and paid attention and listened. So thank you, Julie. I appreciate you. Active reversals, yes. Yep, love and hate, man. When I saw those clouds in his eyes, I was like, oh shit. You don't gotta tell me twice. Norbit. Candy, please email me so I can give you something. Yeah. Yeah. Say that, Cedric. It's kind of like the feeling of the Ouroboros, like eating your own tail, being in those type of situations. Because you just know that you're just gonna keep hurting yourself and like degrade. And then and then when your higher self is processing it, even the higher self is like, what the fuck? Because how can anyone be so wicked in love? Claim that they love someone and then do such wicked things. That's not love. That's sociopathy. That person's really like, okay, yeah. That's why I say when someone can love and hate you at the same time, but that you don't want that. You don't want that because that person's always your secret enemy. And then they'll use love to cover up their tactics. That's horrible. That's horrible. I'd rather you tell me all the fucking way. You either fuck with me or you don't. I don't play those games. So at least when shit pop off, I know what side you stand on. I don't ever have to question your loyalty. I don't know what people are on these days. When people are putting spells on you, they try to manipulate your subconscious mind to manifest it. Mike, watch it from the beat. You're gonna be able to rewind it and you'll see it. Yeah, Gemini men, hell nah. Aquarius men, hell nah. Sag, hell nah. Dogs. It's all that air, loosen the mind, all that fire. You all over the place. Yeah, that contract is over. Done. Thank you, spiritually. Yeah, they trying to stop stuff. Go to my about section, okay? Yeah, love is a weapon. Be mindful, because the person that you think you love in is really your enemy and plotting. Remember, I told you, breaking the heart. Love is the most powerful tool to break the heart. That's why love is a weapon. Yes. That's why romance can sometimes be an illusion. And you know who wrote really powerfully about this is Edgar Allan Poe. He was a Leo, I believe. About the horrors of romance. Yeah. What it can do to you. And I'm a Leo, so I know that all too well. Um, but as people who are light workers, we manifesting things like that. Heartbreak can break your powers. I want you. Oh, have you guys ever seen a Siempre Bruja? Always a witch. I know that folks it's like problematic because of like the whiteness and the context of like slavery and stuff like that. But I love how like the show progressed into her like taking her power back and all that kind of stuff, from that. But it's so good. And even season two, I was like, this is too much because this is exactly what I'm going through. And even the karmic in season two looked like the karmic that I was dealing with. I was like, oh, lesson, message, message, message. Hmm. When you said about accessing Akashic records, I passed out. That's crazy. Oh, Noel. You got to be careful with them because they really like be so detached from their emotions. They can't relate to people, on an individual level. Sometimes it's just like groups. They do better like in groups. Like it's hard for them to be in like relationships. That's why they go from people to person to person to person all the time because they rule the 11th house, groups and stuff like that. But I've been reading your comments and I was happy that you got on here because I wanted you to listen to the trauma bonding piece. I mean, hopefully that can help you with your situation because, a lot of y'all too, like I said, your masculine, your feminine is going to be coming back around this time, wanting to reconcile, say sorry, da 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 da. And you just need to focus on like self. They're not ready for you. If they're still going to be in that vibration, that energy, you got to see them do the work. Don't be so quick to open up. Practice your self love, your self care, your boundaries. And if you feel uncomfortable doing that because, oh, they're going to run away again or something, that's how you know that you still have work to do, you know? Bitch. Yeah, they're looking more evil. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, what? That's a whole completely different person. But that's what happens. Solar plexus spell, how you see? You're welcome, FR Melanin. Yeah, and then if you add alcohol and stuff like that, we didn't even talk about that on the other trauma bonding piece. That's a whole. It's game over from there. Game fucking over. Just no alcohol. Any type of outside sex too. Alcohol, sex. Ooh, Betty Boop. I'm gonna watch it. 12th house, secret enemy. Yeah, you gotta be careful. I'm sorry to hear that, Nunu. Yeah. How can you hate someone you love? Mental health. It's not really love, but like for someone to really but I said that people really can embody that polarity within their field and their consciousness, and that's how you know not to trust them because their temperament has been broken, temperance reversed. Candy, I'm glad. Keep doing that. Yes. Oh my God. That high mind control stuff and gender bending and all this other stuff in these Disney shows and Nickelodeon and stuff like that. I love SpongeBob, but now that I think about it, I'm like, we shouldn't even been watching that. There's hella stuff that they put in all these different shows. Them spiritual karmics be killing me. I'm like, damn, like your middle ages and your senior years are gonna be horrible. It's my job to protect you. Who's protecting me against you? Ooh, 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 ooh. Clowning. Good, Libra. That's what they want to control because they're narcissists. Don't let him back in, Noel. That's not someone you need to deal with. I feel like you should practice cord cutting. That's one of the reasons why you feel attached. Practice some cord cutting, meditations, and clearing bats and womb yoni clearing, and you should be okay to move on. If I can't get the Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Cups, period, 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 point fucking blank. Yes, we should all make a pact. Yep, let's do it. How about a pot addict? Yep, do that's too. Thank you, Mike Knight. I appreciate you. All right. Post about their trauma and their healing. They're trying to get sympathy points from other people. That's how they avoid like doing their healing because it affirms like their stupidity. I can do this because I've been through that, and yeah, people say the same thing too. It's a lot of lack of. Remember, I told you personality disorder. They rely on the energy of others in many ways to validate themselves, energy vampirism, boost themselves, etc. A balanced person would they share their stories or share their trauma, but it's the way in which they do it that it you could see. Yeah, too much. Yes, too much attention is like it's a little bit too much. It's like okay, you that's how you yeah. Cedric, thank you so much for coming here, dropping knowledge and wisdom. Please start a channel, or maybe like or even like an Instagram page, sharing your quotes and your euphemisms. Please, you can even make like a book of like the quotes and thoughts that you have, one for each page or whatnot. Just please, because you be dropping bombs. Yeah, let's keep focusing on the things that we want and like manifesting. It's important to do that and know what's going on. Because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, focus on the light. I'm like, yeah, focus on the light all the time. I read stories for y'all. We do karaoke night. We do channelings about what we need. Oh, I have this really dope channeling I'm gonna put up tomorrow. Anyways, I'm gonna go head to sleep. I hope you all enjoy this channeling. Good night.